During my Semana I, my best friend from the United States accompanied me in traveling to Oaxaca. Oaxaca is a state in southern Mexico known for its indigenous culture. During our time there, we were able to explore the city and the ruins around it. Our travels began in Midla, a ruin site that was once a religious center for Mixtecan and Zaptecan culture. As soon as we came to the site, we were greeted with these intricate mosaic murals and designs, which upon further research we actually figured out are unique to Midla and not seen in other ruins in Mexico, which was very interesting. One of the symbols repeatedly marked around the structure, sort of etched into different walls, was specifically mentioned by our tour guide and shown in this clip. It is a representation of the four cardinal directions, with a symbol in the middle representing the spirit and the self. Our tour guide, who is actually Zapotecan himself, talked about this symbol as a representation of the path that each person goes on. You could go north, west, east, or south, but that yourself and your spirit would be present in any of these decisions. Another detail that we were able to see at Mitla were these large pillars, which served as sundials. Sort of this entire space not only was designed to hold people and to be a religious site, but also had very practical use. During the tour, we were able to learn about the practicality of its construction, that workers who all worked agriculturally and as farmers would wake up at 3 a.m. and work right until midday when the Mexican sun would get too hot for it to be comfortable to work in. And at this midday, they would be able to take siestas and do so with these very nice thatched roofs that provide a constantly pleasantly cool temperature in comparison to the hot sun outside. Mitla was an incredible sight, and during our visit to the National Anthropology Museum in Mexico City, we were able to get some more insights into the Oaxacan cultures that once lived in sites like Mitla, specifically through the ceramics and pottery craft by folks at the time. It is not only amazing to see how many of these ceramics and pottery survived just by the sheer test of time, but also very incredible to see the cultural importance that these remaining pieces have. This clip shown here shows a pot taken from Monte Alban that pays tribute to a Zapotecan conquest in receiving new land and in overtaking a town. Our time visiting the ruins were amazing, but there was still a lot more to see in Oaxaca. Continuing our time in Oaxaca, my friend and I were able to attend a cooking class taught at a culinary school called the Casa Crespo. Due to my crippling anxiety, I wasn't able to capture any footage myself, but with the permission of the chef who taught our class, here he is shown preparing a sopa de piedras, a traditional Oaxacan dish. The cooking class started with a tour of the market, and then us cooking not only a sopa de piedras, but two different moles, one of which was cooked using fryer ants, another traditional ingredient used in Oaxacan cuisine resembles a lot of traditional Mexican cuisine in how much of it revolves around corn and especially the tortilla. A traditional Oaxacan dish we enjoyed every day while we were in the region was the tlayuda. The tlayuda is made out of a tortilla, which then contains refried beans, cabbage, and then usually meat, and then is cooked and sort of grilled and toasted, and is quite delicious. But our time in Oaxaca wasn't just about eating. The museum that was most interesting to me was the textile museum located in the city. I love how textiles can contain so much cultural importance in the threads that are used, the methods of constructing a garment or a blanket, and the significance of the colors and the imagery. The Textile Museum in Oaxaca aimed to show traditional garments and wares from all across the region. Additionally, during our time, we were able to go to a family home where the traditional business was weaving. The weaver discussed not only how creating and selling their work was a source of income, but was a tradition in their family for generations, and how important he saw it was to teach not only his kids but his grandchildren the stories and the meanings that come with the yarn spinning and the design of a textile piece. Oaxaca was very different though, not only in its rugged, mountainous landscape, but in the friendliness of people, the diversity we saw around us every day. Traveling in general put me in a very specific mindset of making sure I was absorbing every little detail that I could. We found ourselves surrounded by memories of previous civilizations and what society used to look like in Mexico and in this region, as well as the ingenuity and the creativity of what new generations are accomplishing in Oaxaca and in Mexico as a whole. I especially was interested in the way that indigenous cultures and livelihoods have integrated with the mestizo folks who occupy larger cities in the region.